Welcome to the Expensive Coins History channel, another deep dive into the world of numismatics. Today, we're uncovering the intriguing story behind a coin that, at first glance, may appear ordinary, but to seasoned collectors, holds layers of historical and collectible significance. This is the story of the 1992 Mexican 1 peso coin, specifically those mysterious examples that appear to have no mint mark. Are these coins truly rare? Are they valuable? And how does the market view them in 2025? Let's find out. The year 1992 marked a significant turning point in the monetary history of Mexico. After years of economic turmoil and inflation, the government introduced a sweeping currency reform. The nuevo peso was born, literally translating to new peso, and it represented an effort to restore economic confidence. This reform effectively removed 3 zeros from the old peso, meaning that one nuevo peso became equivalent to 1,000 old pesos. As part of this change, a brand new series of coins was introduced. Among them, the 1 peso coin stood out. It was modern, bimetallic, and symbolic of a nation striving for stability. The coin featured a brass-colored center surrounded by a stainless steel ring, with a total weight of just under 4 grams. Its diameter was 21 millimeters, giving it a compact but distinct presence. On the obverse side, the national coat of arms, an eagle perched on a cactus with a serpent in its beak, remained unchanged, anchoring the coin in tradition. The reverse bore the new denomination, $1, the year of issue, and typically, a small but very important symbol known as the mint mark. In numismatics, a mint mark is more than just a tiny letter or symbol. It tells the story of where a coin was born. Most modern Mexican coins carry the mark of the Casa de Moneda de Mexico, the Mexico City Mint, represented by 2 stylized letters forming MO, but here's where things get interesting. Some examples of the 1992 1 peso coin appear to be missing this mint mark entirely. No MO. No trace. Just the date, sitting in isolation beside the denomination. The question immediately arises, is this a genuine mint error? Or could it be the result of wear, tampering, or a filled die during production? In mass minting processes, errors can happen. A filled die occurs when residue or grease obscures part of the design on the die, resulting in missing details on the struck coin. Such errors are well documented in coinage around the world and can sometimes escape quality control. If the absence of the mint mark on a 1992 1 peso coin is due to such a mechanical or production error, and not post-mint damage, it could elevate the coin into the realm of collectible mint errors, a category that appeals strongly to specialist collectors. To understand rarity, we must first consider volume. In 1992, the mint produced a vast number of 1 peso coins. The new coinage needed to circulate widely and quickly across the country, and the result was a high mintage figure. That means that, as a general rule, 1992 1 peso coins are not considered rare in circulation-grade condition. However, not all coins are created equal. Uncirculated examples, especially those with crisp edges, full details, and no signs of wear, have become increasingly difficult to find more than 3 decades later. While the coin may not be scarce in raw numbers, finding pristine examples can be a challenge. And then, of course, there's the no mint mark version. Its true rarity is difficult to quantify. That's because no official record confirms the production of coins without mint marks in that year. The few known examples are discovered by individuals, often by chance, and vary in clarity and condition. The lack of formal acknowledgement by the mint only deepens the mystery, and in the world of numismatics, mystery often creates value. Collectors, especially those focused on error coins and anomalies, are drawn to these oddities. Coins that defy standard expectations, whether through design flaws or production quirks, often command higher interest and sometimes higher prices, especially when they're authenticated by grading agencies or recognized numismatic organizations. Fast forward to the present day, 2025, and the market for the 1992 1 peso coin has matured. The majority of these coins still trade as common numismatic or novelty items. Circulated examples typically change hands for a modest amount, often around the equivalent of $1 to $2, depending on the region and market demand. However, the story changes when we look at uncirculated examples. Coins that remain in mint state, with lustrous surfaces and no signs of handling, can fetch higher prices. Collectors and dealers are often willing to pay a premium for coins that grade MS 65 or above. These can range anywhere from $5 to $10 or more, especially if the coin is slabbed and graded by a reputable agency. These are far harder to price. Their market value depends heavily on three key factors: authenticity, condition, and demand. A verified mint error with no mint mark in uncirculated condition could sell for significantly more, anywhere from $20 to even several $100s, if accompanied by certification and market buzz. However, examples without verification or with ambiguous appearance are usually met with skepticism and may not carry much premium at all. In 2025, the coin market remains highly sensitive to trends. Viral social media posts, YouTube videos, and online auction results can influence buyer behavior. What was once a forgotten pocket change can suddenly become a sought-after collectible, if the right narrative catches fire. If you're interested in collecting or evaluating the 1992 Mexican 1 peso coin, here are a few essential tips to keep in mind. First, always inspect the coin under proper lighting. Look closely at the area where the mint mark should be. A missing mint mark should show no signs of tampering, tooling, or unusual wear patterns. It should appear as though the mint mark was never there to begin with. Second, check the overall condition. Coins with sharp details, original luster, and no damage are always more desirable. Coins in higher grades are not only more beautiful, but they also retain and grow their value more effectively. Third, consider professional evaluation. Submitting the coin to a third-party grading service can provide credibility and increase marketability. Graded coins are easier to sell, and their value is more confidently determined. Finally, be realistic with expectations. While some examples might surprise you with their value, most 1992 1 peso coins are modest collectibles. Their true worth lies in their historical context, their role in currency reform, and their occasional mysterious variants, like the no mint mark. In the world of coins, sometimes the smallest details tell the biggest stories. The 1992 Mexican 1 peso coin is a reflection of national transformation, economic renewal, and the ever-evolving artistry of minting. Whether you're holding a standard issue or a possible mint error, this coin represents a tangible piece of Mexican monetary history. Its value may not make headlines, but to collectors and historians alike, it offers something even richer: a chance to hold history in your hands. The 1980 no mint mark 1 kopeck from the Soviet Union. While this small brass coin may appear insignificant at first glance, its story is layered with political history, minting intrigue, and surprising collector value in the current coin market of 2025. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector, a historian, or simply a curious viewer, buckle up as we explore the origins, characteristics, rarity, and modern-day worth of the 1981 kopeck coin without a mint mark. To understand the 1981 kopeck coin, we must first understand the environment in which it was produced. The Soviet Union in 1980 was a superpower with a centralized economy and a standardized minting system. Coins during this era were issued by the state and circulated throughout the vast territory of the USSR, which included 15 republics stretching from Eastern Europe to Central Asia, the 1 kopeck was the smallest denomination in the Soviet monetary system. It represented 1/100th of a ruble. While its purchasing power was limited, it was still essential for everyday transactions. Even the smallest items in Soviet life, such as a newspaper or a public restroom fee, might require a few kopecks. Therefore, the minting of this coin was massive in scale. The year 1980 was particularly symbolic for the Soviet Union. It was the year Moscow hosted the Summer Olympics. Although the Games were heavily boycotted by many Western nations, the USSR viewed it as a display of power and unity. As such, the production of coins in this year carried additional national significance. However, the 1 kopeck remained visually unchanged from its predecessors. The obverse displayed the Soviet state emblem, with the hammer and sickle over the globe, framed by ears of wheat and the rising sun, all encircled by a ribbon with inscriptions. The reverse side bore the denomination 1 kopeck and the date, 1980, beneath it. Interestingly, no mint mark appears on this coin, which was standard for lower denomination Soviet coins. The Soviet mint, primarily based in Moscow and Leningrad, did not consistently include mint marks on small value coins. While some issues did include marks for quality control or internal records, the 1 kopeck from 1980 was uniformly produced without one. The 1981 kopeck coin was struck in aluminum bronze, also known as tombak, which gives it its distinctive golden hue. It weighed approximately 1 gram and had a diameter of about 15 millimeters. The coin had a smooth edge and a simple yet durable composition that made it suitable for mass circulation. The production process involved high-pressure minting in industrial facilities, using dies that imprinted both the obverse and reverse designs with precision. While minting technology in the Soviet Union was not as advanced as in some Western countries at the time, it was efficient and capable of producing millions of coins each year. Despite the high production volume, very few of these coins have survived in uncirculated or mint state condition. Most were used heavily in commerce, exchanged countless times over the years, and suffered extensive wear. Coins with sharp details, no scratches, and original luster are extremely difficult to find today. From a rarity standpoint, the 1981 kopeck without a mint mark is not rare in terms of absolute numbers. Millions were minted, and many still exist in old collections, boxes, and drawers across former Soviet territories. However, the real value lies in condition, provenance, and collector demand. Collectors are particularly interested in finding this coin in mint state, often graded MS-60 and above by professional numismatic grading services. Such coins exhibit no signs of wear, full original detail, and possibly mint luster. Since most coins in this denomination circulated heavily, high-grade examples are extremely difficult to come by. Another element that adds to its desirability is the cultural and historical nostalgia. For many collectors from Eastern Europe, Central Asia, and beyond, this coin represents a tangible link to a bygone era. It recalls memories of childhood, family, or national history. Western collectors, on the other hand, often find value in Soviet coins due to their unique symbolism, Cold War context, and distinct design language. In average circulated condition, the 1981 kopeck coin typically trades for a modest amount. Most of these coins in worn condition are worth a few cents to perhaps $1, depending on the seller and the market. However, the story changes dramatically when the coin is found in better condition. Uncirculated examples, especially those that have been kept sealed or have come from old mint rolls, can command significantly higher prices. In 2025, coins in extra fine or about uncirculated condition typically sell for between $5 and $20, but it is in the upper mint state categories where the coin truly shines. A verified mint state 65 or higher example has fetched values exceeding several $100s in recent private auctions. Some exceptionally preserved specimens, certified by major grading organizations, have even sold for over $1,000, making this humble coin a hidden gem in the world of numismatics. Prices also vary depending on presentation. Coins presented in capsules, slabs, or collector sets often command higher premiums. Likewise, coins with documented provenance, such as original mint bags or rolls, are particularly attractive to serious buyers. In the current numismatic market of 2025, interest in Soviet-era coins is on the rise. This resurgence is fueled by a new generation of collectors, increased access to global coin trading platforms, and a growing fascination with 20th-century political history. The 1981 kopeck without a mint mark is considered a strong entry-level collector's piece, but also a valuable target for high-end collectors seeking the very best preserved examples. Coins that were once overlooked are now gaining recognition for their historical value and artistic simplicity. Online marketplaces, auction sites, and coin expos are seeing growing demand for high-grade Soviet coins, and prices are reflecting this trend. The combination of nostalgia, scarcity in top condition, and relatively low entry cost makes the 1981 kopeck a smart acquisition for both beginner and seasoned collectors. First, prioritize condition. Always choose coins with the least wear, the sharpest details, and the most original color. Luster, clarity, and edge quality are critical factors that affect price. Second, seek professional grading for coins you believe are in uncirculated condition. Certification provides peace of mind to buyers and can significantly increase resale value. Third, avoid heavily polished or cleaned coins. These may appear attractive to the untrained eye but are often devalued by collectors. Fourth, consider purchasing from reputable dealers or auctions. Verify the authenticity and history of each coin to avoid counterfeits or altered items. And finally, store your coins properly. Use coin capsules or archival quality holders to protect them from moisture, fingerprints, and air exposure. To wrap up, the 1980 No Mint Mark I kopeck coin from the Soviet Union is more than just a small piece of brass. It is a window into Soviet life, economic history, and political symbolism. While millions were made, only a fraction remain in the pristine state that collectors truly desire. In 2025, this coin continues to gain recognition and value, especially among those who understand the importance of condition and context. Whether you already have one in your collection or are just beginning your journey, this coin is a meaningful and potentially rewarding piece of numismatic history. We're diving deep into the story, value, and collectible appeal of a coin that might be sitting in someone's drawer right now, yet holds more intrigue than many realize. I'm talking about the 1991 No Mint Mark South African 2 Rand coin. Is it rare? Is it valuable? And could it be worth serious money in 2025? Stay tuned, because this is going to be a full deep dive from start to finish. South Africa's monetary system has undergone several transformations throughout the 20th century. By the late 1980s and early 1990s, the country was shifting its coinage strategy. Precious metal content was being phased out of everyday currency in favor of more practical, cost-effective materials. The 2 Rand coin was introduced as part of the third decimal series. This new generation of coins was designed not just for durability and economic efficiency, but also to reflect the identity of a changing nation. The 1991 version was only the third year of issue for the 2 Rand in its new nickel-plated copper form, a metal choice that had replaced the earlier silver-based versions from previous decades. What's interesting about the 1991 coin is that it was issued without a mint mark, which is typical for circulating coins in South Africa. While this might not mean much to the average person, collectors know that a missing mint mark, especially if it's unusual or tied to a limited run, can increase a coin's desirability and mystery. On the obverse, or front, you'll find the South African coat of arms. This emblem represents unity, strength, and sovereignty. Surrounding the coat of arms is the bilingual legend, SUID Africa and South Africa, reflecting the country's commitment to inclusivity through the use of both Afrikaans and English. The year 1991 is clearly marked, signaling its year of issue. The reverse side of the coin depicts a striking image of a greater kudu, one of the most iconic and majestic antelopes in Africa. Its towering spiral horns and graceful posture are framed inside a recessed square. Below the image is the denomination, 2 Rand, and to the right are the initials of the designer. The reverse design emphasizes South Africa's rich natural heritage and biodiversity, which has long been a source of pride and national identity. In terms of physical specifications, the coin has a diameter of 23 mm and a thickness of approximately 1.75 mm. It weighs around 5.5 grams and features a milled edge with segmented reading for security and tactile recognition. The material is nickel-plated copper, giving it a silver-like finish without the cost associated with actual silver. The 1991 2 Rand coin had a fairly large mintage, with tens of millions of coins entering circulation. However, the full picture is more nuanced than it first appears. In addition to standard circulation coins, a limited number of special strikes were produced for collectors. These included brilliant uncirculated specimens and proof coins, often sold as part of commemorative sets or numismatic collections. These coins were struck with extra care, using polished dies and specially prepared planchets to give them a sharper, more reflective finish. What distinguishes the 1991 2 Rand coin for many collectors is the fact that all versions were issued without a mint mark. This wasn't unusual for the period, but the lack of identifying mint data sometimes leads to confusion or myths around its production origin. It's worth clarifying that this coin was produced by the South African Mint, but mint marks were simply not used on this denomination during that year. There have also been occasional claims or rumors of minting errors or rare die varieties for this coin, but very few have been confirmed. Any authenticated mint error, such as a double strike, off-center strike, or die crack, could significantly increase the coin's value, but these are extremely rare. Despite its high mintage, the 1991 2 Rand is considered moderately collectible for several reasons. First, it's part of the early years of the modern 2 Rand series, making it appealing to collectors who focus on full-date runs. Second, the design remains one of the most aesthetically appreciated among South African modern coins, with the elegant kudu gaining recognition even among international collectors. That said, for the coin to have real numismatic value, condition is everything. Circulated coins with visible wear, scratches, or discoloration typically trade for just above face value. These are very common and were heavily used in commerce. Coins in uncirculated condition, particularly those that have been preserved in original packaging or stored in coin holders away from air and moisture, are much more desirable. Proof coins, with their mirror-like fields and frosted designs, are even more sought after by serious collectors. Graded coins, especially those assessed by third-party grading services, tend to attract a premium. For instance, a 1991 2 Rand graded MS65 or higher would fetch a much better price than a raw coin due to the assurance of its quality and authenticity. As of this year, the typical value of a circulated 1991 2 Rand remains modest. In South African Rand, it might be worth around R10 to R15 for a circulated example, which is slightly above face value. In US dollars, that's about 50 cents to $0.80. However, uncirculated examples in pristine condition can reach anywhere from $1.50 to $3, depending on the buyer, the marketplace, and how well the coin has been preserved. Coins that are part of original mint sets, or those presented in official display cases, can sometimes command a little more, typically in the $5 to $10 range. Proof coins, due to their limited numbers and high visual quality, can fetch between $7 and $15 depending on their condition and packaging. If the coin has been graded by a respected company and achieves a high score, it might reach or exceed $20, particularly if sold to a collector specializing in modern South African coinage. There are occasional anomalies, such as a buyer paying significantly more for sentimental reasons or out of national pride. But these are exceptions rather than the rule. It's also worth noting that listings on online marketplaces may show inflated prices, but actual sales often occur at more reasonable levels. Always check completed sales rather than active listings to gauge true market demand. Check the condition carefully. Look for luster, sharp details, and the absence of scratches or stains. Use a soft cloth or gloves to handle the coin. Avoid cleaning your coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and dramatically reduce the value. Collectors prefer coins in their natural, unaltered state. Consider professional grading if the coin appears flawless. Grading is not cheap, but it can make sense for coins in exceptional condition or those included in an investment collection. Do your research. Before selling, look at recent sales of similar coins in similar conditions. Be realistic with your expectations. Join local coin communities. South Africa has an active base of numismatists and collectors who often exchange information and trade coins directly without the need for middlemen. To sum it all up, the 1991 no-mint mark South African R2 coin is a beautiful and historically meaningful piece of currency. While most examples are not particularly rare or valuable in 2025, coins in top condition, especially proof and uncirculated versions, can attract collector interest and command a respectable price. Whether you're a new collector just getting started, or a seasoned numismatist hunting for hidden gems, this coin deserves a spot in your binder for its design, its symbolism, and its place in South Africa's modern coinage history. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, educational, or just interesting, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more deep dives into collectible currency, and drop your questions or stories about the R2 coin in the comments below. I love hearing what you found out there. Until next time, keep collecting and keep discovering the value in the everyday.